Okay, I'm recording. Um, I have good news now, so I'm gonna go ahead and tell my doctor visit yesterday because, well, apparently my bad eye is getting pretty bad. And he said it's gonna get worse unless we do a treatment. I was like, okay, yeah, let's do a treatment. So they got me all prepped up and put all kind of drops in my eyes and all this and that. And then I said, "Well, what kind of treatment are we gonna be doing?" And they said, "Oh, we're going to give you an injection in your eyeball." And I said, "No, we're not." For real, I was like, "What? No, we're not doing that. I'll go blind. Screw this." So they went in to talk to the, doctor, the surgeon that I had gone to see as a follow-up to begin with, and came back and said, "Well, okay, if that's how I felt about it, and they will follow up in a month." And I said, "Well, yeah, that's how I feel about it. Sorry, we're not going to do that." So I got back in the car and argued with my sister. And I did. I had to tell her back off. She was like in my face, in my ear while I was on the phone with the doctor. Do this, do that. You should have done this. You better tell him do that. You know, just in my business. So anyway, I had to tell her to back off. But she was right. I told her just now that she was right. That they will do something for you. They will provide compassionate things. And I was like, "Oh God, girl, you don't know Creek Nation. They have no compassion, walk or die." And pretty much that was it. So I was going to call, well, he wasn't an optometrist, he's a surgeon. And I called their office and they transferred me someplace that said they don't do drugs. And I thought, don't tell me I'm the first one, to freak out over the prospect of a needle in your eyeball. And I was like, all right, then I'll go blind. So anyway, my sister hammered at me some more. And I did. I called the Creek Nation. And I made that girl laugh and left a message with my primary that I have not seen yet because she's kind of new. And I went ahead and called behavioral health too, because I thought they should know about doing Valium, but they don't do drugs either. And I thought, then y'all must not deal with a lot of stress. Dang, what kind of behavioral health y'all do? So anyway, um, she listened to what I had to say, and I said, "Well, what can I do to help you, sweetheart?" I said, "You can give me some drugs that will let me have a needle in my eyeball so I don't go blind." Oh, so we talked for a minute, and she took my number, and she did call me back. She said she talked it over with my new primary, and I picked out a real MD for this purpose because my alternative was a PA, physician assistant, and a lot of times they can't prescribe things that I need, like heart meds and things like that. And I think this is one of those things. So anyway, they talked and called me back and they will give me Valium. And I was like, all right, then let's do this thing. So we'll see how that goes because I swear to God, I have a high tolerance for this. When I had insurance and didn't have to worry about this, I had to get a root canal. And they were no problem. Yeah, cranked that sucker up. And I had nitrous oxide. I love nitrous oxide. And they cranked it up till they scared themselves. And I was still, yeah, yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, sure. So they cranked it up more until I was like relaxed. Yeah, let's do this twice. So anyway, it can be done. But I have a lot of high tolerance, I think, because I smoke so much weed. So anyway, we'll see how this goes. I hope they realize, they're not gonna just baby around with me. I gotta have something good. And I'll probably throw a handful of gummies on it, whatever the highest I can get, and still stumble through the door. God. Ah, I thought they were joking when they said that. I was like, "Yeah." But anyway, good news. I am gonna get drugged up and get Valiumed up, and we'll see how it goes. But my sugar's okay, so I'm pretty sure it's probably got to do with my blood pressure that has caused, more stuff. And if it is the, retinopathy, it is what it is with that. I don't think there's any fixing that. So we'll have to look at that too. If I'm going to go through all of this and it's not really going to do anything, I don't see the point. Anyway, we'll see how this goes. Oh,